Ladies and gentlemen. Oh,
wow.
Jinx.
Wow.
Jinx.
I guess this is what happens when you have two hosts cast the same game.
What's up, folks? We're here for the final day, or final game, excuse me, here on Gameplay One Stream. I'm DJ Wheat.
And I am JP McDaniel. Grubby versus Violet, the game here that we're going to be watching on Cloud Kingdom. And I got to say, this match is going to be very, very big for Grubby. So many people are so happy to see him beat Oz here in the opening rounds of the tournament 2-0. I had the pleasure of actually casting that game. They were not close at all. Grubby just manhandled Oz. It was very, very impressive.
I actually came in during the second game and was surprised to kind of been hearing the results that went on there. And, you know, I mean, Grubby has been practicing like a fiend lately. But I'll tell you what, his opponent here has also been practicing and really showing some amazing results because of it. And so, I think a lot of people were expecting, they're looking at the brackets. You know how we always do this. We're like, okay, well, this person will move on, this person will. And people were expecting, I think, that Violet versus Oz matchup. Right. And Grubby pretty much flipped the script on that one, and here we are now. I mean, how will it play out in terms of Oz if Violet would have played Oz versus Violet playing, Grubby? I think Grubby's PVZ right now is pretty, pretty good. So
yeah,
should be interesting.
Well, looks like he's going to open up with that. Might go for the hatch first already, or excuse me, hatch first. Might go for the Nexus first here. He's pretty high up on the probe count. We will see though. 14 pull for Violet without gas, a little bit early. Sometimes you see him go for that 15 pull. This map is kind of harder to hold off with that 3 hatch opening because there are so many entrances into the third base over here.
Yeah, and it's it's one of those situations, JP, where it's just like I feel like if the Zerg gets that third up, it has to be attacked by the Protoss. We've just been seeing too many Zergs lately really pound out that 200 max supply Roach army if their third does not get touched at all. And Grubby is going to go for a Nexus first here. He didn't even try to contest the hatchery at the natural at all.
And the Lings are going to come out a little bit earlier, about 1 supply earlier, but Grubby should be able to wall this off. Even throwing down a second gate if he needs it, and then replacing it with the side core. See him keeping his probe there just in case. Has no idea if those units are coming across the map. Okay, he's going to use 1 probe instead, and then eventually that Zealot out of the gate. But yeah, you mentioned the fact that sometimes Zergs, if they get that 3 base up, just go on with the Stefano style play and go for that max 12-minute army. Or sometimes you watch Rhett play and he goes for that 12-minute hive. It doesn't. It doesn't much matter. Just you get the huge lead, and if your opponent is very passive, I mean, the Zergs, it's just going to walk all over them. And here comes the third base actually for Violet. Yeah,
and I mean, I've got to guess that Violet is saying, how come there's absolutely no contesting this natural and or this third base? I mean, I would be going, what is going on here? But he's going to get down all 3 quite easily. Grubby does send that probe around, and he will scout this out, which is to be expected. And I think in every PVZ these days, especially on a map like this, you're going to expect it to go down. However, is he going to try to do something in the back line? And this is, yes, he is. And he's going to hide that probe basically in a position where he can put a cannon there. I believe 1 cannon will still fit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nothing can really attack him until he's got those roaches out. So.
Well, Grubby showing that everything he's doing is very well calculated. Everything seems to kind of run like clockwork here for the. That actually it's not fully walled off. I thought it was, but there's still 1 hex. I thought so too.
But I don't know that it really even matters.
Yeah, only one Ling can attack at a time, and the cannons should make quick work of that.
Yep. He still doesn't even have any idea that is there, and it's going to be one of those unfortunate situations that he won't get vision of it until it. Oh yeah, it's perfect timing by Grubby on the actual cannon. And look at that, it goes down before the creep spreads as well. And that is just unfortunate. We talked about you cannot let that third base go up without inflicting some sort of damage. Well, Grubby kind of going with, I think, a very unique approach to it, which was basically like, well, I'll make you think you're comfortable. I'll make you think you're all good to go, when in actuality, I'm just going to cannon your third. So
I like the queen up top. It will not be able to be attacked, but second cannon comes in, third cannon comes in. He is going to have to sacrifice a lot of larvae here to be made into lings, and that queen falls. That is really a big tank right now for this army, and that will not supply block him if it falls, but he's at 47 to 54. The hatchery is ticking away here. One of the cannons falls, the lings running in. Looks like he's going to focus down the lings at this point instead of that hatchery.
I mean, honestly, if he saves the hatchery, I don't feel like it. I feel like he defended it pretty well.
Well, the other thing you always have to think about that a lot of people just forget, that hatchery's at 500 HP. It regens pretty slowly.
Yeah.
And
he can go in for.
He can go in for the kill afterwards.
Yep.
I mean, and it could be a quick kill. You could throw down 4 force fields here, take it out, and just walk off. And then
How many drones is Violet at right now?
Let's see, 40.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, he did obviously have to make quite a few units there. I think he lost the queen. He lost that overlord as well, and there you go. See it right there. So not a huge loss, but certainly he would have liked to power out a bunch more drones. This should be easily defended here as we see Grubby throwing down several gateways. This means he's going to be off of a 6 gate. He's got his +1 coming as well. And we have Lair coming down here for Violet. He already finished his Roach Warren, correct? Yes, okay. So he's going Lair. And I mean, it was a bit of a setback here, but will the 6 gate follow up that is being scouted right now by that Overlord?
I gotta say, Overlords are so fast now.
They are. Because they were so slow, now they're just like, these things are so quick.
I was observing, or I think we were setting up some picture-in-picture stuff over on the mainstream, and me and Adebisi were just sitting there laughing at how fast the Overlords are now. It is almost impossible to deny a scout.
Right. Which, you know, it's interesting in itself, because it definitely changes the way that all the other races have to approach, you know, when this scout timing might happen. Hey, you know, as a Zerg player, I'm really happy with how quick it is, man.
I'm sure you are.
I think it's the greatest change you've ever seen. Oh,
that
wow.
is a scary army there for any Zerg player, especially one who's building pure roaches. There's the Warp Prism coming in, and the Lings are actually going to slip up into the main here and start taking out these pylons. Some Zealots are warping in, already with +1, so you'll be able to take them out much quicker. And that attack has been stopped. Grubby really not taking too much loss there. And now, with no forward pylon, the Warp Prism is going to be the only way you can reinforce this, and it is a little bit behind.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, the Overlord saw that entire army right there. So is he going to try to preemptively go in for an attack? Here we go. We've got Lings coming around the back. And we did have a few Stalkers warped in. He might just be able to stop the reinforcements. So here he goes. He baits out a ton of force fields. There's still a lot of energy remaining. But here come those Stalkers. That will help out this army quite a bit. And there's the warp in with the Warp Prisms. So he might be able to just take out a few units here. I think he's got to be careful, though. He doesn't want Grubby to swing around the back and just get free hits there on that hatchery. And as you mentioned before, it is, well, he's got a lot of units there, but it is pretty low. So a good sandwich here from Violet could be exactly what he needs. But the force fields come out, and here we go.
Let's see how this goes here for Grubby. Forces being warped in the back are cleaned up, and now he does have force field still remaining, but is it going to be enough? He needs to warp in some more units, and there we go. 2 more Zealots to deal with the Lings, as he was actually taking out all of them, but he's doing a damn good job here, Wheat.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I thought the sandwich from the back was going to be really good, but with the number of sentries he had, he almost had like an infinite amount of force fields. We are seeing the sentries start to fall, and that's force field energy.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Finish it, Grubby. There we go.
But he probably should have like getting rid of that on the first go and gotten out of here. I think he might lose everything here as a result of just missing that one last hit.
Is this going to be... Okay, no, just too much stuff there. Saves 2 Immortals, a great choice for Grubby, and gets out. The
Yeah, he did take out the third,
yeah.
But there is no third base coming up here for Grubby quite yet.
I think Violet is making the correct choice and just counterattacking. 122 to 67 supply. Does have these cannons. He's also... He's got to worry about these two Immortals, which up on the high ground will just rain down hell from above up here on those roaches.
And oh, he's still dropping on top. Now, I think like just a good move from Violet. Forget about this stuff.
Yeah.
Go in, try to snipe that cannon right away. Maybe get that pylon as well. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Just get a little bit of damage, pull some of these units out. Oh, he'll go for the Forge next. I really do like that. And with these units here, it's going to be a little bit tougher for the Immortals to get those shots in. He could put them up on the high ground, but even the Psychor is there. But he's going to push out. Is he going to commit to this attack? It looks like the answer is yes. And we do have the Roaches swinging around here, but I don't think that Violet's looking for a kill here. I think he's just trying to be annoying based off of losing that third and just trying to get it reestablished.
Exactly. He wants to get it reestablished and make sure his opponent cannot get an economic lead. We even see the Ling over here at the third base, which a lot of Protoss would try and expand off this, but I thought Grubby was going to go for the attack off of this, and for now I think he wants to try and get his third base up.
Yeah, and unfortunately Violet's not going to be in a position to deny it. All he had was that single Ling right there. However, what would be interesting is to possibly see some sort of multi-pronged attacks come out here from Violet, as maybe when we saw Rhett do this really fantastically versus his last opponent, where he went in, to his versus Killer, he went in at the natural ramp and the third ramp at the same time. But here we go. Overlord will scout that Warp Prism, or at least have the chance to see it.
Yeah.
Really react. Question.
Still only Roaches here. Tunneling Claws actually being upgraded. He is closely approaching that 200 max. Small little force here are going to be able to cut off the Roaches, but the Observer is lacking. Where is it? Oh, it is over at his natural. He's got to get back to base. We might see him divide and conquer here, running into the main through the natural and also over to the third. The Observer is not there, but the Photon Cannon is going to be enough, and here comes the other Roaches now focusing down this Nexus.
Yeah, I really like this now. I think he should just unburrow and go. He's going to try to get a cancellation. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. And great job by, it does go down, but great job by Grubby actually throwing the force field down at the natural there to deny those Roaches to come back in. He does finally go underneath it, and he will continue to attack. Whoa, when the heck did those guys get in there?
I guess they
you know what?
by.
When he went in and tried to go underneath,
did he come in?
Maybe he did actually get a couple of units there.
Maybe so, maybe so. Now it is really becoming a huge annoyance. And with that Colossus, is Grubby just going for the base trade? I think he is. That Colossus is about to pop out. And it looks like the Roaches are waiting for it. He's going to have to get past 2 hexes to get up onto the high ground. Needs a force field here at the ramp to really make it worthwhile. Colossus pops out. Let's see how Violet reacts now, as he has so many units over at the natural, as well as a drop here in the main with the 2 Immortals.
Oh, wow. This is actually going to be devastating. A good move by Grubby. We've got a lot of action all over the map. And here we have the defense. And this is what's really going to matter here, is it looks like drones and everything will be pulled. There's no spine crawlers. 1 Immortal has gone down. And the infrastructure has not really been completely denied here. What's going to be interesting to see where we're at in terms of drones after this is all said and done. But here we go. I mean, wow, Violet going to unburrow and get up there, and it looks like he took out Grubby's advancing army.
I wish we were on the main stream right now so we could do some picture-in-picture, because there are so many fights happening here across the map. Roaches in the main, a fight over here between the 2 armies. Immortal drop happening over here, and they're doing the cripple.
Seriously, how many drones does Violet have? It looks like he has 0.
9 drones, but it is going to be enough. As Grubby had nothing to answer for all the Roaches, down to 19 supply at the very end. Empire Violet taking game 1 there, and I felt like that Violet was... He's played so many damn games, when it comes to tip-top level games that on these in the finals of these tournaments, that I felt like he perfectly executed exactly what he needed to do when it came to stopping what Grubby was throwing at him there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that went on there. We mentioned the potential of multi-pronged attacks, which is exactly what he did. Then, of course, he somehow slipped those Roaches in underneath the nose of Grubby and then continued to use that. And once he got rid of that cannon, of course, he was able to just have full reign inside that base. And we're going to be going on to the next map, which will be Grubby's map choice. But, you know, going back to your point about Violet and sort of the situational advantages that he may have, one thing that a lot of people criticized Violet for early on when he was spending a lot of time in the U.S. was playing sort of unique games on the ladder. He would do all sorts of crazy stuff, like multiple Niduses, do stuff with the burrowed roaches, etc. And I feel like, you know, that's better training than one might think, because it does allow you to put yourself in a lot of situations that normally you're not going to get into against a super high tier player, or you would experience through that. So, I mean, Violet just kind of showing that his decision-making was top-notch as well. I really think that even Grubby made the right decision there. But, gosh, Violet defended that just fantastically.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we get to see what it's like for Grubby to be down in this tournament. 2-0ing Oz probably was on cloud 9 after that. I'm sure a lot of people were saying that Oz's PvP is not that good anymore, but still, to take out a Korean, a dominant Korean in Oz like that in the round 1 has got to make you play a little bit more confident than you normally would.
Sure, sure. And now we're going to be going into Grubby's map choice. So it will be MLG Metropolis. And we are getting this one started here.
I like
Grubby
the dubstep week.
has got to bring it back.
Like this music?
Is this? I don't think this is really dubstep.
This is kind of housey.
This is like housey electro a little bit.
I think the bass is about to drop.